Mikel, it was a game full of incidents and talking points, but what's your overriding emotion and thoughts at the final whistle?
Well, after going back in the dressing room and speaking to the boys and understanding and watching the penalty incident for the second goal getting overturned, extremely disappointed and annoyed because it goes against the rules and I don't understand it, and it changes the course of the tie. So very, very upset.
Were you able to speak to the referee to find out why he overturned it?
No, but I mean the whole sequence tells the story. I mean, it's a clear contact, you make that decision, you cannot overturn that decision when you have to look at it 13 times. It's just, at this level, it's completely unacceptable.
And it was overturned after the referee went to the pitch side monitor. Do you feel that he was influenced by the crowd?
I don't know, that's an answer for him, but obviously it's a wrong decision and it changes the course of the tie.
What about the penalty that Atleti were awarded themselves? What's your thoughts on that? Is it frustrating that it appears that the rules seem to be different in the Premier League to the Champions League?
It is the rule, and they've been quite consistent with that. So on that one, if you're going to give a penalty for this kind of things, you have to accept that. I have nothing to say with that, but the one that changes completely everything is a penalty on EPS, and that cannot happen at this level.
I know it's really tough at this stage to look past those incidents that you feel hard done by, but what are your thoughts on the way your team played tonight?
Yeah, we have a lot of positives, a lot of very good things that we did. We went through very positive moments. We knew we were going to have top moments. I mean, this team, the history and the record that they had at home is incredible against the best team in the world, getting 3 and 4 goals. So we knew we were going to have to navigate through that, but we should have get more.
What's the message to the players then at this halfway point, still halfway to that final?
Halfway, I mean, we are in an incredible position. Semi-final of the Champions League, we have to play in front of our people. It's in our hands, and that's it. And now recover and Fulham.
That's it. It's not the next game. You still have a big game in the Premier League to come on Saturday. How are you managing that recovery of the players to go again, fight again for another massive match?
Make sure that they eat, sleep, they get a lot of love, and use every single hour of the day to get in the best position to compete and win against Fulham.
So good. US international on the pitch in a Champions League semi-final. Love it, love it. What did you make of his performance?
Oh, solid like the team. You know, it wasn't much into the game, like I said to you, but to be able to have an American guy on the field at that level is outstanding for the country.
Mm-hmm. Micah, you love to go Team America usually.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good game, didn't he, Kate? I don't want to go too, over the top.
Not like you.
Well, I mean, I've learned by doing that. But yeah, he had a very good game. Solid, I would say. 7.5 out of 10. If you must know.
Oh, 7.5. Oh, okay, gone there.
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that we've said is interesting about this tie is that Atletico now are all entirely focused on Champions League because they already know that they're going to finish within those Champions League spots in La Liga, so they can fully afford to focus on Champions League. Not the case for Arsenal, who now have to play in the league at the weekend, and then this second leg against Atletico next week. How will they manage that burden, that load?
I don't see an issue, personally. Jamie doesn't agree, thinks that the Fulham game should be an issue in between the two. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy and pleasant because the game against Newcastle was very difficult. But you have the squad to be able to deal with that, so deal with it.
You think differently?
I just think Thierry's right in that they have got the squad. Now, if this was in November, you make a few changes. I just think the stakes are so high. There's no way Mikel Arteta's going to be making changes in these games. I'd be very surprised. Now, the reason maybe he's in this situation right now, where a lot of players do look a little bit fatigued, is because he hasn't made those changes earlier on, maybe when the stakes weren't as high. But right now, I just think, if they draw against Fulham, they'll think that they've lost the league. Really. So I think, if Mikel Arteta had already won the league, they'd probably make changes against Fulham and they'd really go all in this. I'm not talking about sort of 7 or 8 changes, but maybe 2 or 3 big players, and they think, OK, we'll keep you on the bench. I just think the stakes are so high for them in the Premier League, probably slightly more so as well, because they've been so long without.
Can I just ask you, you was going for the league a couple of times with Liverpool, didn't you? Yeah. Years when you was winning when you won the Champions League.
But we were in the Champions League.
But how did that differ when you won the Champions League and then the league? How did that differ? In terms of Arsenal, now they're going for both, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or in the running for both.
Yeah.
But obviously they need to win one. Would you say Arsenal fans, Thierry, would prefer to win the Premier League over the Champions League?
We're not in that bracket of preferring. We didn't win anything for a very long time. You leave that to people that Man City can prefer stuff, not us. You give me something. you cannot be that cocky to say we prefer this or that. Team that often win can be cocky. I want something. I don't know what it's going to be.
In terms of the fans, what would they prefer?
I'm one. I don't prefer anything. Personally, like I said to you, the league, because you can have a thing, but we cannot be sitting here and go like, let's see what we prefer. Man City can do that because that's what they're about. I'll take anything I'm as a fan. But now, if I analyze the game and everything, I want the league a bit more. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you can't be sitting here and saying it will be this, it will be this, it will be that. But when you go for the title and the Champions League and the Cup, that's when it's difficult. That's when it's really extra. And if you go back to my time, I don't like to do eras and stuff. We had 18 players. 17? Yes. How many do they have? To play on a lot of, you know, you were
utilize your squad,
yeah, but on a lot of competition, you out of the FA Cup. Obviously, we know that you were not in the you were not in the semis, and so you can deal with that.
Would you rotate then if you were Arteta, or would you make a few changes? What I'm saying is, I know they've got the numbers, but you think.
The rotation is, as you said before, for me, personally, I've been in that situation where I didn't play against Man United when we had to play Chelsea back-to-back. Yeah. Man United and you guys, to obviously in the league, that was a tough game. I didn't play against Man United in the semi-final. Didn't play at all. So, rotation cannot be for me more than one or two. Last year, Paris Saint-Germain, on the run of the treble, okay, more often than not, it was Desiré Doué or Barcola. If not, it was the same team. So are they superhuman? How can they play the treble? And people tell me, yeah, but the league, that's your league. I've done it at Barcelona. We won the treble. Man United won the treble. Inter won the treble. You know, Bayern have won the treble. You know, it can be done. So what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't often like the excuses thing. You have a game in front of you, play it. You play the team that you play, that's on you. You know, nobody remembers that I didn't play against Man United, right? That goal when we lost against Man United in the semi-final, of the FA Cup. Nobody remember. I remember, obviously, because I didn't play. But nobody remembers that. There's no excuses. You have a team. As I said to you, put money on the table. You have two squads. And I hope, as an Arsenal fan, that we can win. You understand what I mean? But then you can't be sitting here, you want to be in the semi-final of the Champions League. You want to be battling for the title. Embrace it, battle for it, and let's see at the end, like I always say, what's going to happen.
Micah, talking about what's going to happen at the end of the season, throughout the night, at some points you've said, I think City will win the league. You've also said you think PSG or Bayern will win the Champions League. So you believe that they'll end up trophyless, Arsenal?
Yeah, I only think that because of pressure. I think Arsenal, when these guys have been talking about Arsenal, and I've defended Arsenal a lot because in the Champions League phase, they finished top. And yes, they're not scoring as much set pieces, although they scored a set piece against Newcastle. I was thinking Arsenal was just going to get over the line. However, when they opened up that door for Man City, now it's not just about the football. It's about experience, and it's about who can handle the pressure the most. When we were going for the league, we went ahead of Man United, and then we couldn't deal with the pressure at the time. They went ahead of us. We chased, and that's why I always say with Jamie, I prefer to chase because I've done that. I've done that as a player, and I feel like there was no pressure. Look at the last game of the season, QPR. That game, we should have beat QPR 3-4, 5-0. But it didn't go that way because of the pressure. And why I say Man City will win the league is because I think they're experienced in dealing with this, especially at this time of the season. In a Champions League, anything can happen. Thierry mentioned it for a while now in terms of defensively. They're the best, aren't they? They are the best. But it's just, can they get over the line going forward? And that might be a set piece. And they could win the Champions League in that manner. But at the league, I think Man City.
Jamie O'Hara, are you expecting the same drama, the same jeopardy, edge of your seat, not being able to go to sleep, your heart racing, 5-4 thriller tonight in Madrid?
No, absolutely not. I don't think that's going to happen unless we see something crazy in the first few minutes. I mean, Atletico are a team who have changed the way they play. They're more attacking. They will have a go, and you know, we've seen this season with them that they are willing to play on the front foot a bit more. But I just don't see Arsenal defending like that. I don't see Arsenal being so open. I don't see that happening. That they double up fullbacks. You know, the wingers drop in. You know, defensively they're brilliant. Declan Rice anticipates danger in the middle of the park. Gabriel and Saliba are so solid at the back. I just don't see it being that way. I think it's going to be a much more tighter affair. It's not to say it's going to not be a decent game, but I just can't see it being a 5-4.
So solid.
Have a look at this. So this is comparing Arsenal against PSG and Bayern Munich players. The most minutes played in the league. You can see the top 5 names on that list are all Arsenal players. The workload is remarkably higher than what we've seen from the Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich players. Warren Zaire-Emery, the highest PSG player with the most minutes for them, 2,360. That's 6th on Arsenal's list. And Luis Diaz has played the most minutes in the Bundesliga this season for Bayern Munich. He's 8th compared to PSG players and Arsenal players. So you can see a stark difference in workload from the players currently in the Premier League at Arsenal compared to PSG and Bayern Munich. Perhaps that is why when we're looking at PSG and Bayern Munich, they look fresher on the pitch. They're able to produce a spectacle last night. Perhaps that's just a small factor. Perhaps it doesn't matter. And maybe Arsenal and Atletico Madrid are going to surprise us tonight with a spectacle of their own. Let's wait and see.
This is a message that I knew would come, but I just didn't know when it would come. So I just want to say thank you to all the fans. I can't get my words out. I think in life we have to make decisions, and I think in football we're always given answers. Like, we're always told where to be, what to eat, what time to come to training. And I think I'm at a stage where I'm ready to take control of my life, and I think no one can tell you what's right in this moment or when the time's right, but for me, I'm ready to hang up my boots. I'm not going anywhere, don't panic. There's more to come. I think you lot know better than anyone. I'm Chelsea through and through, and I've always said I'd retire at this club. I can't ever represent another team.
This was one of those nights where the scoreline doesn't tell the full story. A 1-1 draw between Arsenal FC and Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Champions League semi-final leaves everything open, but the real story lies in the details, the moments, and the reactions after the game. From the very first minute, it was clear this wouldn't be a typical match. The tempo wasn't rushed, the approach wasn't reckless, both teams understood exactly what was at stake. This is knockout football at the highest level, where one mistake can define everything. Arsenal started with intent. They wanted control, they wanted possession, and they wanted to dictate the rhythm of the game. There were moments where that control was clear, clean passing sequences, good movement between the lines, and a sense that they were building towards something. But Atletico Madrid had a different plan. They stayed compact, disciplined, and patient. They didn't allow Arsenal to find easy spaces. Every attacking move had to be earned. Every pass had to be precise. And slowly, that began to affect the flow of the game. Because when you face a team like Atletico, frustration can build without you even realizing it. The ball moves, but not quickly enough. The chances come, but not clearly enough. The pressure grows, but without reward. And that's where the game became really interesting. There were moments where Arsenal looked close, really close, to breaking through. The movement in the final third improved, the intent was there, and you could feel the stadium reacting to every forward push. Then finally, the breakthrough came. It wasn't just a goal, it was a release. A moment where everything clicked. The build-up, the timing, the execution, it all came together. And for a brief moment, it felt like Arsenal had taken control of the tie. This is where belief becomes powerful. When you score in a semi-final, especially in a tight game like this, it changes everything. Confidence increases, energy rises, and suddenly, the game feels different. But Atletico Madrid are not a team that loses control easily. They don't react emotionally. They don't panic. They stay within their structure and wait for the right moment. And that's exactly what they did. The equalizer didn't come from chaos. It came from discipline and awareness. A moment where Arsenal's focus dropped slightly, and Atletico were ready to take advantage. That's the difference at this level. You don't need many chances. You just need the right one. And once the score became 1-1, everything changed again. Now the game became even tighter. Arsenal had to balance attack with caution. Atletico had to decide when to push and when to hold. Every decision carried risk. Every moment felt important. And this is where the reactions after the game really tell the story. When you look at Thierry Henry, his reaction wasn't just emotional, it was analytical. He could see the missed opportunities, the small moments that could have made the difference. His frustration reflects how close Arsenal were to taking full control of the tie. Because at this level, those missed chances matter more than ever. Now contrast that with Mikel Arteta. His reaction was calm, focused, measured. He understands the bigger picture. This result doesn't end anything, it sets everything up.